Hey everyone, and welcome back to a series that I'm now calling Rearview. I'm also changing the channel name to Social Carcoholics because, well, I like talking about cars, I like talking to other people about their cars, and I like showing them off and sharing their stories. So that's what's happening there. In this video, we're checking out my friend Chase's New York City yellow cab and how he got the car. And funny enough, I used to have one myself. That's kind of how we met. So yeah, just kind of sit back, relax, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. I'll see you in a bit.
So I walked out of the Dollarama in Cambridge and I saw a New York City taxi go by, a Crown Vic. So I hopped in my Crown Vic, naturally, and I chased the guy down. And I followed him into his work, actually. And I said, hey, sell me your car. He said, no, unfortunately, I can't sell you my car, but I'll tell you where you can get one. And he actually went with me to the place, Turner in France, where I ended up buying this car here. My name is Chase, and I have a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria New York City taxi. Well, right around the time that I was born, maybe a little after, my dad bought a 1997 Trans Am convertible. And one of my earliest memories is being in the back seat of that car, going down the highway, listening to You Spin Me Round by, who did that song? I don't remember. Dead or Alive it was, by Dead or Alive. And just hollering out, go faster. And then he did, because he's that guy. And we were just ripping down the road. And I have a lot of great memories of enjoying that car growing up. I think that's kind of what did it for me. Yeah, I've met some interesting folks in the process of owning this car. Some other taxi owners, two of them up here in Canada, a couple down in New York and spread across the United States. And online, I've interacted with some guys out from Europe, actually, which is pretty cool. Some Europeans out there, you know, from across the pond, they call it. Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy about this car is that you have a lot of very unique interactions with people pretty much everywhere you go. People love to ask all kinds of questions. Yeah, like for example, I was going to the parts store a couple days ago to get some brakes. And as you can see, I have this big Ninja Turtle Donatelli up on the roof. And it was the first time I've ever been asked this. The guy behind the counter, he asked me,
how many turtles have you picked up today?
And I didn't really know what to say to that. I said just the one. And then I left with my brakes and I drove off because I didn't know how to answer that. But you have those interactions, you definitely do. It's an interesting ownership experience. Well, I didn't really choose the sign. I guess the sign kind of chose me. My buddy Malcolm, he went down to New York City and he went to a company that does advertising on taxis. And they happened to have a Ninja Turtles ad laying around. So he brought it up and gave it to me for 20 bucks. I slapped Donatelli on there and that's been my guy ever since. I thought I wanted to go a different route, but the kids really love the turtle. You know what I mean? So it's always a great time driving around. You see the kids, oh, it's the Ninja Turtles. They get really happy about it. It's a pretty enjoyable time. I think I'm gonna keep Donatelli for a good while. I guess it's Leonardo. After some research, I found out it's Leonardo. I've never seen a Ninja Turtles movie. Admonish me for that. But I should get to it. Yes, I've had people actually get in without asking because that's what you do in a taxi, I guess. One time I was sitting with a friend. It was probably 10 p.m. in the Canadian Tire parking lot. We were just hanging out and chatting. The door was unlocked. It was raining really, really hard. I felt bad. But this guy just opens up the back door, gets in. I say, sorry, man. It's not like that. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's a taxi, but it's not. It's a personal vehicle, I'm sorry, but like it's not a real taxi. I can't take you anywhere. I'm sorry, but you have to get out of my car. And he very frustratedly did. And I felt really bad as I watched him walk through the empty parking lot in the rain with his head down. But what can you do? Don't want to take too many chances. Not trying to get molested, you know? I've taken this car to New York City. And that was really the one trip that I've done. But myself and some other owners and enthusiasts of these cars met up in New York City. We did a little trip driving around, taking a bunch of pictures together. And yeah, it was a pretty good time. I've been to Michigan. I went to a Panther platform car meet in Michigan there in Dearborn, hosted by the Panther magazine, and that was very cool to go to. We saw a drunk driver almost hit someone, and he tried to hug me. And as he tried to hug me, he said, "I'm an OG. I'm a real OG." So I slipped out of that, and then he drove away drunk. And the cops, they didn't get him. And the thing is, right? And the thing about it is we're on an island, a small island, with one road on and off. There were 2 cops on the island, and he got off the island undetected, and they never caught him. He was a super villain. He really was. He was an OG. He was an OG. My buddy Malcolm, the same guy who picked up the roof ad for me, the Ninja Turtle there, he kind of coordinated an effort to mass order a bunch of these license plates for anyone who was interested. So yeah, we all gave him the information, put in a big order. I think it was like $75 for the 2 plates, front and rear. Here we are. We've got a replica New York taxi plate. It's not embossed or anything, but it's pretty good for shows. I enjoy it. They didn't like it at the border. I tried to cross the border. I forgot I left it up in my thing. He was like, "Why the hell do you have a New York plate?" I was like, "Here." Like, I gave it to him. I'm like, "Look, it ain't real. I'm autistic." I said that. And he was like, "Okay, go." That was it. I got away with it. But he wasn't too pleased. About 2 months after I purchased the car, I blew the engine. That wasn't great. I ended up with low oil pressure, and I spun a bearing. I was burning oil. These things happen, I guess, you know? So the car was out of commission for, probably 8 months. I got an engine out of a Grand Marquis that had been rear-ended, 55,000 miles. Got that dropped in, and it's been running pretty good ever since. Not really any mechanical issues with it ever since then. No, I have never been approached and asked about using it for film or for a photo shoot yet. Up until recently, it was looking pretty dilapidated, quite frankly. And with the recent paint correction, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure my insurance would love the idea of me renting the car out. They're a little finicky on that. But we'll see what opportunities arise in the future. I learned that middle-aged women love the cash cab. I have purple lights in this car. They're orange. They can switch to purple. And whenever I'm driving around with purple lights, I have middle-aged women asking me, "Is this the cash cab?" No, it's not. I'm broke as hell. The cash cab's a van. The cash cab's a minivan. It's not a Crown Vic. And the Toronto cash cab, or the one in Canada, isn't a New York City taxi. So I don't know why I get asked that, but I learned that middle-aged women love the cash cab. I get a lot of people waving, but I drive around with the doors locked. Every time I put the car in gear, I hit that lock because I don't want to end up like that. But a lot of waves, a lot of people being very angry when I drive past. I'll give them a like, "Nope, it's not like that." And they'll be like, you know what I mean? They'll kind of give you a look and they'll be kind of angry, but it's like, you're not getting in my car, man. Not with that face. So what can you do? What can you do? If anybody's looking for a New York City taxi, there is a New York City taxi owners and enthusiasts group. And if you are truly serious about buying one of these cars and doing your best to restore it or maintain it, there are guys in the group who are very helpful and will point you in the right direction. There's always a couple cars out there for sale, most in the US. So you've got to deal with import. Unfortunately, if you're a Canadian, if you're American, cool beans, you already got it. If you want to bring it up to Canada, there's some hoops you got to jump through. But there's very good people who will do a lot to help you out. It truly is an amazing community. If money was not an issue, quite frankly, there's not a whole lot I would do to this one. I'd get it fully repainted. I have some Bondo chipping off the car. The body's not in the best shape, so I would get that taken care of. Really, that'd be about it. I want to keep it mostly stock for the most part. I would love to buy another taxi. I do have a goal of building a winter taxi where I would get a taxi, lift it 3 to 5 inches, and just run that in the winter. I think it'd be pretty cool. I really want the long wheelbase, because you know how I sit, like in the black car, you've seen how I sit so far back? No one can fit back there. So with the extra 6 inches, like I'd get rid of the partition. But then it would give people in the back a little bit of room to kind of exist, at least, with me sitting the way that I do. Yeah. For this one, no, I think I would mostly just leave it how it is. A big thank you to Cody for having me on doing this interview. It's been a great time. Follow me on Instagram if you would like, if you're so inclined, at BanditP7B. And yeah, nothing else really to say. Make sure to vote. If you'd like to see more videos like this, follow Cody on Cars on YouTube, Instagram. Where else are you? Where else can we find you? That's it? On YouTube and Instagram. Have a good one, bud. There we go. That was an interesting...
So there you have it, Chase's New York City taxi cab. I gotta say, out of all the cars that I could ever possibly think of, something like this just doesn't come to mind. Just an old retired taxi cab, but so iconic that somebody's bought one after it's retired and is just driving around in leisurely in their own time, just for something to do or because they like driving that kind of car. I hope you liked the video. If you want to see more New York City taxi stuff, check out Chase's Instagram. I'm also going to leave probably a few links to maybe an article or two or a Facebook page or two if you're looking to get a car like this yourself. Since this particular natural disaster in New York, a lot of these cars are off the market now because of flood damage. Instead of fixing them or just auctioning them off as flood damaged cars, they scrapped a lot of them. So to get these retired taxi cabs, Crown Vic especially, is become a lot harder than the last 10 years or so, I guess. If you want to see more of this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. I shouldn't ask that. I shouldn't ask that at all. If you want to see more of the stuff, just stick around. I like doing this, and then I'll keep uploading this kind of content when the spring comes around. It's going to be a little bit slow because it's winter right now, but thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If not, freaking give it a dislike. I don't know. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Peace.